welcome back to the TMBC Wake YouTube channel. If you haven't entered the surfboard giveaway yet, make sure to get over to that video and get yourself entered. I'll put a link right above me, I'll put a link in the description below, and I'll put a link at the end of this video. Alright, so today's video is going to be a short one. I just want to show you how I heat mold my boots myself. I've been buying Ronix boots for several years now, and they've been heat moldable for several years as well. So every time I get a new pair of boots, I do heat mold them myself. You can usually go to a sporting goods place and they'll heat mold your boots for you. I think there's even typically places in town that will do it for you for free. There are some specific reasons why I like to do it myself. So I'm going to go ahead and share that with you today. So first you're going to need your board and you're going to need a hair dryer along with your boots. The reason why I suggest you have your board and your boots mounted to your board is because I believe you should heat mold your boots the way that you stand on your board. There's no point in heat molding your boots the way that you would stand on your boots separately from your board, because that's not how you're going to be using them. So I believe that you should do your heat molding while you're on your board. I use a hair dryer because a hair dryer does a pretty good job of heating up your boots. It's surprising how often hair dryers come in handy. So make sure you get your boots ready to step into so that the transition from heating your boots to putting your feet into the boots is as quick as possible. So that means just loosening up your bindings and making sure you can slip in. Then make sure to plug in your hair dryer and make sure your boots and board are within close enough proximity so that you can reach your boots with the hair dryer. Next, you'll want to have a pair of long socks that are very thin. And the reason for using a pair of socks is because the hair dryer is going to heat up those boots quite a bit. The socks will keep the boots from burning you when you slip your feet in right after you're done heating them with the hair dryer. The socks I'm using are actually socks I use for snowboarding. They're very thin and they wick away moisture, and I actually wear them inside of a set of neoprene socks, so that's why they're very thin. But you just want to find any really thin pair of long socks. And the reason why you want them to be long is so that they come up your calf far enough to protect your calf from being burnt too. Make sure the socks are on very nice and snug. You don't want them to have any wrinkles or anything like that, because those wrinkles would get heat molded into your boots. And now I'm showing you that they're thin enough to where you can actually kind of see my toes, my feet through the socks. So again, just emphasizing that you want thin socks. So next, just put your hair dryer on high and then start heating your boots. And I kind of go back and forth between each boot and just kind of getting them nice and warm. Depending on your hair dryer, you can get it pretty hot pretty fast. You want to be conscious of the fact that it could melt the boots, so make sure that you're not heating it for too long or putting it too close to the boots. You're just blowing that hot air into the boots and just going back and forth. And I suggest you do this for at least 5 minutes before you put your feet in. Okay, once you've gone 5 minutes or so, you're going to then want to jump into those boots pretty quickly, and you're also going to want to tighten up those bindings. And I usually tighten them as tight as I can get. when I ride my board, I don't typically get them quite this tight, but I want them this tight because I want them to really fully heat form around my foot, my ankle, my sole, my heel, all that stuff. So you want it to be nice and snug and tight, even if it's kind of causing some pinch points. Basically, you want to have your feet in there nice and snug and tight for at least 5 minutes. So I would say somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes to allow it to mold. And honestly, the longer you can keep your feet in there, the better. So if you want to go 15 minutes, 20 minutes, even a half an hour, that's up to you. One of the things I do with my boots that I'm not sure if other people do, boots are designed to have the tongue go on the inside of the sleeve that goes around your calf when you cinch it up. But I actually put my tongue on the outside of that sleeve, and I actually think that's a more comfortable setting. That's a preference of mine. That's definitely up to you. I'm not necessarily suggesting that one way or the other, but it does help with my comfortability in my boots for a long period of time. All right, so that's pretty much it. Basically, after you've stayed in those boots nice and cinched up for a good period of time, they should be pretty well heat molded. And because they're heat moldable, the more you use them, kind of the more comfortable they fit, because they'll get broken in like any other shoe or boot. In fact, a lot of pros actually hate switching to new boots because they're not quite as flexible, when you're doing poked out grabs or what have you. And I can completely understand that. And that's why I try to make sure that whenever I get new boots, that I'm starting on those new boots at the beginning of the season. So that way, by the time I've kind of knocked the rust off my joints and whatnot, that they're nice and flexible. So keep in mind, if you get new boots in the middle of your season, chances are they're going to feel really stiff and kind of restrict you from doing really poked out grabs and just restricting that flexibility a lot. So that's it for this week's video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Also, please leave comments below. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you can be notified of future videos. I'll see you next week.